Well, this is peak low tide. I believe it's 0.3 of a meter. And when that happens, there's all kinds of mud flat. Everything is well exposed. And it's a good time to search for antique bottles, pieces of pipe stem, and whatever else might interest you, I guess. For me, of course, it's the fossils. And here is a nice example of Atlantic kelp. A kelp forest, a kelp forest of this swaying in the ocean current is where you will find the fish playing, the seal, and the otter. And while you're out here, if you're looking for fossil, you might look for the shales, the coal, and the limestones. In those things you will find fossils. You will also find fossils in the chert, or diatomic, because the old fossil corals. The artifacts you can find, with the most common ones would be your pieces of pipe stem, anything that was metal. Well, it would not survive hundreds of years in an environment like this. So you can almost just forget the metal artifacts. The glass, if it doesn't get smashed to bits in amongst these rocks, you can sometimes find the antique bottles. I should be careful where I'm walking. This is one giant mussel bed. And it would be a shame. It would be a shame to crush every shell that you saw. It would be a waste of life of these mussels. There's lots of marine animals that depend on this for food. Now, I'm just getting into the front ravine here. I'm hoping to find some pipe stem. That would be nice, or a little piece of fossil. There's that old golf ball here. if I could just find one completely unscathed 17th century pipe or one 16th century wine bottle, unmarred, I would be happy. But I don't think that's going to happen. There's paradise right there. What is that? It's something. Yeah, this was man-made. I'm not quite sure what it is. An old, maybe that was part of the, it was part of something. Like a porcelain container or artwork, something. Now, I don't want to wander too far from the camera. An old piece of, piece of bone. A cow rib or something. Some kind of old cow bone. Wow, that's kind of nice. There's not much mud on here, so if there's any little pieces of fossil coral, it is likely to stand out. And if there's anything in these pools here, well, it's well hidden by all this algae, or all these parts of seaweed here. During the seaweed bloom, I call it, parts of the seaweed are cast off and new ones are growing. Those little bubbles that contain the oil used in treating rheumatism and arthritis, those bubbles end up in the pools. Yeah, it is nice to be down here on the flat. You get close to the water and you can see certain things up close, but then when you're up in the higher elevations, at least you get to look down on the whole beach, and you can see when something moves onto an area. You can see more of the bird movements when you're up high. And the tide's coming in a tiny bit. There's the Tower Hill from the seafloor. That hill isn't very high, 300 or 400 meters high. That's about it. Well, I didn't find the antique bottles or the fossil, but I did have a good walk and enjoyed the fresh air, so that's the important thing.